Good afternoon. Welcome, everyone. It's so great to see you again. This is a program of the Queensborough Performing Arts Center, QPAC Live, and we come to you every week to celebrate the arts with programs that are exciting and unique. Now, different from when we congregate at the theater, today you can interact with us. You could interact with the artist. You can interact with me just by typing in your comments and questions during the live broadcast. So we want you to stick around for the live Q&A. But first, today, it's all about making you laugh. So please enjoy this performance by funny man Warren Schein. And we'll see you in just a few minutes.
Thank you guys, nice try. Oh, it's so nice to be here on a rainy Sunday in Harris, New York. In the height of the off-season. You're looking at the end of my career, ladies and gentlemen. I have the Greyhound that's parked in the back. When you walk by, it just put a stone on top of my car. Oh, gee. Are we all from Harris? Anybody from that town? Well, where? I'm asking you a question. Oh, we're from Queens. Fresh Meadows. I come from Queens Village. School. I'll never forget, I was a senior and I got the lead in the senior show. I got home, I was so excited. I said, Mom, guess what? I got a part of the senior show. I got the lead. She goes, what part is it? I said, I play the part of a Jewish husband. She starts screaming. She says, tomorrow go back, tell the teacher you want a speaking part. I'm glad you got a lot of Jews here. That's good. I'm happy. Are you kidding? My life has been tough. But, I lived at home. Everything was great. My grandmother, Nana, she lived with us too. We would do chores around the house. You didn't get no allowances in those days. They would give us treats like they would take us to the movies. I was a big James Bond fan. Loved them. So they took me to the second one, the Goldfinger. So I go with my parents, my grandmother comes, and the movie's over, and my mother, God bless her, she was a woman and no patience, says, all right, come on, the movie's over, let's go. My father said I can't get up. My backside fell asleep. She said, that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Backsides don't fall asleep. To which my grandmother chimed in, oh, yes, they do. I heard it snoring. This thing laugh out, a fart show. God damn. This is what I like. Oh, but it was really something. But you know what? My parents, God bless them, very wonderful people, crazy out of their mind. My mother would send my father to the doctor. Don't you love going to your doctors? I'm looking around this room, I see a lot of you go to doctors. In fact, as I look around, I think I'm the only one here with original hips. It's really something. A doctor, I hate doctors. They make an appointment at 2 o'clock. You're lucky at 4:30 if you get to see them. And now I had to go to the gastroenterologist. I used to go to this great doctor, Dr. Pappas, a little Greek guy about this big. Anyhow, he retires, and I don't know, so they put you into those little examination rooms, with the lab table, and you jump up, and it's got onto it, and it's got that crinkly white paper, all the wrapping paper from Bloomingdale's that's left over where you live, and all of a sudden the door opens, this giant walks in, 6'2", he looked like Captain Hook. He says, Mr. Schein, how are you? You know the procedure. If you wouldn't mind, take off your pants. Just hang them up on the hook behind the door next to my pants. All right, as the sweat was pouring off my face, he says, just get on the table, just bend over, that's it. He hit a little snap with a rubber glove. He opens up the cabinet, takes out that Costco container, 72 pounds of KY jelly. He's just greasing up his hand. He got a finger longer than the Empire State. And I'm laying there and he's having a great time. Oh, beautiful, he says, beautiful. Everything looks beautiful. Can you imagine what this guy's family must look like? I'll tell you, my mother wants my father every year. He's got to go for a checkup. He's at the doctor for over 5 hours. He finally walks into the house and says, where you been 5 hours? He says, that doctor you sent me to is crazy. He's a madman. I go in there for a checkup. He says, Dave, you got herpes. Herpes. What the heck is herpes? She says, calm down, I'll look it up in the dictionary. Oh, you got nothing to worry about. It says here it's a disease of the Gentiles. This is really something. My mom goes to the doctor. She comes back. She said, so what did the doctor say? Well, the doctor said that due to my condition, I've got to have relations at least 25 times a week. He said, that's great. Put me down for 2. So you know what they do. They all do the same thing. They're getting ready to pack up and retire. My mother worked for the Board of Education. She was a teacher's aide. It was a great job. My father decides to retire. But of course, in those days, there were no computers. There was nothing like that. He had to go to Jamaica, New York, to apply for Social Security. Walks in this very nice young lady behind the counter. Says, can I help you? He says, yeah, I'm here to get Social Security, but I'm afraid to tell you that I lost my birth certificate and all my important papers in a fire. She said, sir, it won't be a problem at all. If you'd be so kind as to unbutton your shirt, open it up, and simply show me your chest full of white hair. What are you laughing at? I didn't get that close. I don't need a partner. I'm already doing this for nothing for Johnny Hayes. I'm kidding, I love Johnny. No, I do. So we unbuttons his shirt, shows his chest full of white hair. She said, you're in. You have Social Security. You were so happy, buttoned up, tucked his shirt in, ran home and said to my mother, sweetheart, guess what? I got Social Security. And all I had to do was open my shirt and show them my chest full of white hair. To which my mother replied, Dave, why didn't you drop your pants? You could have gotten disability. These same things all happen. You just got it? Boy, I feel sorry for you. So my parents go to Florida. First, they had to take a cruise. You ever take a cruise? Everybody ever go on a cruise? One person? Where are you from? All right, you must have had a government job. Cruises, the only thing I don't like about cruises, if you get rough weather like today, the ship is up and down, so they give you those little patches, the purple patches, to put on your neck, right over here. If they work so well, why don't they put one of those patches on each side of the ship? I'm hanging over the railing. Captain comes by and says, we study? I said, Captain, I'm throwing just as far as everybody else. So my parents moved to Florida. They're there, they're having a great time. I call them up into the first month. I said, Pop, how do you like it? I love it. I play golf, I got my own butcher, bacon, candlestick maker, all that. Now everything's a month later. Pop, how do you like it? He says, get me the heck out of here. I'm married to your mother for over 15 years. I finally realized something. I don't like it. And I run out of things to talk about. So I send them geriatric psychologist. They go to see this very charming lady, very smart. They sit down in front of her, and she questions each one about what they know about each other. Questions my mother for the longest time, and my mother does beautifully. And now she says, Dave, I'd like to talk to you to see how well you know your wife. Tell me, what is your wife's favorite flower? To which my father replied, Pillsbury. And then the fight started. And it's like when you go to Florida, I'm sure we have Floridians, you go to Florida, you ever drive down 95, watch cars with no drivers go by? Just these little men with 4 pillows under their covers. Anybody need some? You ain't Boynton Beach yet? And you see, and you go to the malls, there were no video games in the malls in Florida. Blood pressure machines. You see, most people can't remember their name, but they know that they're 130 over 82. And that's how you call it. And when they come to see the shows, they park. Of course, if you don't have a handicap parking sticker, there's nowhere to park. So they mark their cars because they're afraid where they left them, they won't find it. So they put a clear plastic ribbon, some flowers on top of it, you know, a little something to remind them. I'm watching them from the stage door. When they go in the theater, I go out, I change all the decorations. When the show's over, you watch 500 Jews all trying to get into the same white hot dog order. And then when you drive up to the security booths, you see those little guys come out. You know why they call them security guards? Because they're collecting Social Security for 42 years. It's absolutely amazing. But my parents spend all the time at doctors. My mother has a motto. She changes doctors whenever the one she's going to disagrees with her diagnosis. The doctor says, you were just here. What are you doing here? He says, well, you know, Doc, my father says, our romance is not what it used to be. He said, well, you're married over 15 years, so what? You can't plan these things. It's not like you're taking a trip. You gotta have spontaneity. You gotta wait till the mood hits you. When the mood hits you, that's it. Try that. Spontaneity. Come back in 2 weeks to see me. Sure enough, just as the sun rises 2 weeks later, they're back in his office. He says, so? My father says, Doc, you're a genius. You went to Columbia. You deserve that diploma. We took your advice. It's fantastic. Just the other day, my beautiful wife and I are sitting at the breakfast table. All of a sudden, she drops her coffee spoon. It falls on the floor. She gets up out of the chair. She bends over to pick up that spoon. I get a look. I got spontaneity running from my head to my toes. I rip off my clothes. I ripped off her clothes. I threw all the dishes off the breakfast table. I laid her down on the breakfast table. We made love not once, not twice, 3 times. The doctor said, that's wonderful. I told you, spontaneity is the trick. Now, do you have any other problems? He said, my father said, just one. We can never, ever go back into IHOP ever again. No, it's okay. But this first song that I would like to really sing is a beautiful song, and I hope that we have some fans of the yesteryear radio station, WNEW 1130 AM, the radio station who played the music of everyone who is dead. It's true. At least you got it. And you don't look too sweet. So I'm teasing. I am teasing. You are. Thanks for telling us. If I needed a partner, I'd call you. But I had a partner when she took my house. This is a beautiful song. It was the first one I ever recorded on my very first CD. We sold thousands. 7. All right, 3. The rest I had to give to members of my family. They were too cheap. I think you'll remember this. I can only give you love that lasts forever, and a promise to be near each time you call. And the only hope I have is for you alone. That's all. That's all. Only if you country walks in summertime, and a hand to hold when leaves begin to fall, and a love very light will warm those winter nights. That's all. That's all. There are those I'm sure have told you they would give you the world for a toy. All I have are these arms to enfold you, and the love drum will never destroy. So if you're wondering what I'll say in return, you'll be glad to know that my demands are small. Say it's me that you adore, for now and evermore. That's all. That's all. There are those I'm sure have told you they would give you the world for a toy. All I have are these arms to enfold you, and the Lord John will let us know. So if you're wondering what I'm asking in return, you'll be glad to know that my demands are small. Say it's me that you'll adore, for now and evermore. That's all. Oh, that's all. That's all. That's
Hey! Thank you all for joining us. If you're just joining us today, we have funny man Warren Schein. We come to you every week to celebrate the arts and to bring you programming that is unique and exciting. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to bring our guest on, Mr. Warren Schein. There you are, Warren!
Hello.
Hey.
I welcome you all. My first drink of the day in my one hand.
Delicious. That's either water or vodka. Which one is it, Warren?
It's water and it's terrible.
So that was a great performance. It was a surprise, of course, at the end. We got to hear you sing. So my first question to you is, do you consider yourself a comedian that sings or a singer that is funny? What do you consider yourself?
I really work at Katz's Deli on Saturdays, and I slice corned beef all day. No, I actually started out at Queensboro, to tell you the truth. I was a stand-up comedian, and I had a partner by the name of Larry Lumpy Goldberg. And I performed in the coffee house at Queensboro.
That's unbelievable. What great history. And so that's when you got the bug?
I already had the bug, but I just thought this would be a great place to start. And now you're looking at the end of my career. So look where it's gotten me.
What do you
No, it was a
mean?
great start. I'm kidding.
So you need to answer the question for us. So do you consider yourself a comedian first?
I always thought I was a singer first. I used to sit in my bedroom, turn on the Victrola or the LP, the record player we call it now, and I would listen to Mel Torme while everyone else was listening to the Grateful Dead.
Warren, I have to share this with our audience. Of course, I do know that you are a singer and I know that you are a comedian, but I first became a fan when I heard you sing Mel Torme, because I have never heard someone who sounds so much like him. I know you're probably going to be mad at me for, I don't know, a day or two, but could you just give me a little bit of Mel Torme, just a little bit, anything?
I'll give you whatever you want, to tell you the truth, because I'm very lonely. No kidding. I'm kidding. I'll give you whatever. I can only give you love that lasts forever, and a promise to be near each time you call. You've heard about Margie, heard about Dinah, heard about Susie. Ooh, ooh, Lulu. I could go on forever.
Those are two of his big hits.
Yes.
Warren, and I think you do sound so much like Mel Torme. We have a lot of friends out there today, and some of them are already sending in their questions and comments. Lydia Sabasto says hello to you. Diane Ellis says hello to you. Diane from Boston, she says. Carolyn Hayes says,
boy.
Warren, you are the best. And let's see now. Diana is enjoying your comedy. Lisa says it's great to see you. Leslie Alta says hugs, hugs, hugs. So we have a lot of your. Oh, Lydia Gladstone is with us today. She says hi, Warren.
Lydia, my
So you have
Lydia
a lot of your fans are out there today. So so you started to. So you would say you started to perform in, I guess, in college.
I did. And after I was in college, then I went out to California and finished there and came back to New York because I missed everyone so much. And I started performing at the Pan Am Motor Inn on Queens Boulevard in Elmhurst, wherever it's called.
East
And
Elmhurst,
through
right?
the graciousness of truly one of the greatest human beings I ever had the good fortune to get to know was the late Dana Lorge. I don't know how many people knew her. She was truly a comedian, a beautiful vocalist. She was a Broadway actress in the movies, and she was my mentor for better than 40 years.
Well, I'm glad you actually said that, because we have a question from Allison Holmes who says, Warren, were you mentored along the way? And not only were you mentored, but do you mentor?
Yes, from time to time I do, especially in community theater. And also up in Provincetown, where they hold the annual cabaret festival, which is usually would have been next week. Unfortunately, with what's going on, it's been postponed until October. But I would be doing a master class, and I would be working with young, aspiring vocalists who want to be in cabaret. And it's very thrilling and very rewarding. And it's an honor to be asked to work with them.
Warren, I can't help but think that your comedy style is very much like the great comedians of the Borscht Belt. And we're talking about, Dick Capri and Freddie Roman and Malzy Lawrence, those great comedians. Their comedy never goes out of style. When I hear them perform, they could tell a joke. It's for me, it's about the timing. They can tell a joke that I've heard 50 times, but when I hear Malzy Lawrence say, "This is for now, this is for later, this is for now," talking about This is for later. They're talking about the food, of course. In the Catskills, people used to eat dinner and then take back with them to their room another 5 courses. Let me ask you a question: are those your mentors? I mean, who are your comedy mentors?
Well, some people will ask me, where would you place yourself? And they say, you're somewhere between a Don Rickles and a Rodney Dangerfield. And I would say, well, first, just to repeat what you said, there was never anyone funnier than Mousy Lawrence. And Mal and Dick and Freddie Roman and Stewie Stone, so many, Joey Bishop, and we just lost Jerry Stiller, who was very dear to my heart. They just did not get up on stage and tell a joke. I learned how to act out a joke. You have to act out the characters. Steve Solomon does that when he does his show about his family. And that's what's important. And you have to creep into your audience's heart. When you include them in what you're doing, they're paying money to come and see you. Although lately they're not, and they're getting it for free. But that's okay too, because we're there to take them out of their bad mood, make them feel good and happy, and let them go home with a good feeling that you made them laugh. You made them feel good and forget their worries. And I think that the day of the Catskill comedian, most every comedian, that's where they got their start. And it's where they went to school. And there was a movie about that, when comedy went to school. And that's how I learned.
It's
I
fabulous.
learned how to do it.
We've had a number of those comedians at the theater. Mousy Lawrence a number of times. Dick Capri always brings the house down. Freddie Roman,
Always.
Stewie Stone. You've played our theater too. So we're always looking to celebrate these legends because, in my opinion, they are funny now, just as funny now as they ever were before. So,
Sure. Even the comics of today, no matter what type of comedy they do about life, about themselves, of the world, it all goes back to where it all started. Jenny Grossinger started the whole thing, invited one comic, and look what happened. It's true.
So those are your comedy mentors, if you will. But what about your musical influences?
Well, I love cabaret, and I love all phases of it, especially. And New York, we're very fortunate to have so many places. Don't Tell Mama, the Triad, the Laurie Beachman. There were so many places that we've lost, just because things happen, and sometimes business is not always what it should be. But when you go to the clubs and you can hear people like Billy Stritch, Ted Firth, Marilyn May, for example. She'll kill me for this, but she's the sweetest, most loving human being on earth. And at 92, she is better than ever. Better than ever. And when you watch them perform, you just have to inhale it and love it. That's how good it is.
I agree.
And what you do, people don't know how well you sing. Susan Agin, by the way, is an absolutely incredible performer, and you should see her wherever she's playing. Next week, she'll be in her toilet in her apartment.
Yeah, that's right. We're getting out a lot these days.
All right.
That was very nice, Warren. Thank you. So I agree with you. Marilyn May is just one of those artists that are ageless. And when she sings, I've never heard someone interpret a lyric like she does. And she immediately brings my heart, makes my heart full. And I just love watching her perform. It's a master class every time you watch Marilyn May perform.
Oh, for sure. Because that's the whole point of the song. It's the lyric and portraying those lyrics and the music. Fabulous. And she is the best at it. Absolutely.
Warren, you have a CD that pays tribute to Mel Torme, Remembering Mel.
Yes.
Is that still available? Can we get it?
Oh, yes. Yes. It's on CD Baby, or anybody can. I'm getting a new website, which my website happens to be down at the moment. It's going to be up very, very soon. But I should also tell you that when I first decided to do something in honor of Mel, it was always to emulate, never to imitate, because you can't. A tribute is always when you're emulating. I do that also. I'm coming out with a new show about Perry Como called Dream Along with Me. And Perry Como was not only one of the greatest male singers of any decade, he sold more records at RCA than anyone in the world, in the country, except for Elvis Presley. Isn't that amazing? That's a
Wow.
lot of records. Yes.
Can you tell us some of the songs that we might know?
Sorry?
Could you tell us some of the songs we might know that he recorded?
Oh my God. Goodness. He had a lot of novelty songs, that he loved to sing. Papa Loves Mambo, for example, which was a very big hit, especially on the Honeymooners, when Carlos the dance teacher came to that episode.
Papa
But
Loves
songs like
Mambo.
It's Impossible, but Mama Loves a Mambo, Papa, very, very, very popular. It's Impossible, and I Love You So. Standards that every other popular American vocalist would start to record. They used to be envious of Perry Como because he got to it before they did, especially Frank Sinatra. And Frank Sinatra was the best. The way he could put over a song like no one else, But Perry Como had a certain knack. He was just a regular guy. And, he was although he was from Pennsylvania for many years, up until 1970, he lived in Port Washington. And a quick story, I was coming home from Florida once. It happened to be 1970. I was waiting for a cab, and I said hello to him because he was standing there waiting for his ride. And we just started talking, and I said, we both live in the same neighborhood. He said, really? His car came. He goes, can I give you a ride home? I said, really? Sure. And the conversation on the ride home, he said, well, what is it that you do? What do you want to do? I said, I want to be a boy singer. He said, isn't that funny? So do I.
That's a great story. We're going over to our comments and questions for a minute, Warren. We've got Maribel Greenman who says hello. She says Papa Loves Mambo is a favorite of her parents. Diane Ellis says, Warren, That's All sounded great. By the way, That's All is one of my favorite songs of all times. But she says, one question, is that all? Just one song? Is that all? And Vicki Klein's here. She sends her love. Folks, if you do have any questions for Warren or myself, do ask them now. We are starting to wrap up a bit. Warren, tell me what would be, because I know you do some acting, you do some theater, and I'd like to know, what is your dream role?
Oh, you mean a role? A real role?
A real role.
I'm sorry, darling, you're breaking up a little bit.
A real role, yes. What would be?
Oh, if I was on Broadway, I would like to, I've had the good fortune of playing Max Beastock in The Producers, and Igor in Young Frankenstein, and oh my goodness, I think I've been in more bus and truck and regional theater shows than I can remember. But if there was one role, I would like to play Tevye in Fiddler on the Roof. I'd be the shortest Tevye ever. I'll give that. But that's the one role that I've always dreamed about being cast in.
Well, then I have one question for you. Do you love me?
I love you. Do you love me?
Warren, you would be absolutely fabulous playing that role.
Thank you.
Now, you also do a lot of voiceovers. Is that true?
Sorry, we're
You
breaking up. You know, can you
you do a lot of
ask me that
voiceovers.
again?
You do a lot of voiceovers. I know for the History Channel and M&M's, and you do a lot of
Yes,
voiceovers.
voiceovers. In the past, I've been fortunate to be the voice of the red M&Ms, the Pillsbury Doughboy. I've been the leprechaun for Lucky Charms. Uh, and one of my claim to fame, Charmin toilet paper. I was the voice of, in one of their commercials for, you see the bear walking in the woods and he has a newspaper under his arm. And he takes a roll of Charmin toilet paper off a branch of a tree. He's walking, and all he says is, dum diddy dum dum dum. I'm embarrassed to tell you I was paid $1,000 to say it.
I
And I loved it.
I love it. I will never look at that commercial quite the same again. But that's fabulous. Warren, we're so happy you came today and you shared with us your comedy. You made us smile, and let's not forget what a beautiful voice you have, and we hope to hear more of that as well.
Thank you.
Warren, usually during this time, I let our audience know that they could, if they wanted to, tip you. However, you have asked me not to do that. Why don't you tell us why?
I'm sorry, that last few words broke up.
You have
What
told
you were
us
asking me.
you have told us not to ask for tips on your behalf, but that you would like to instead do what?
Oh, well, there are a lot of people. If I heard this correctly, there are a lot of people in everyone's neighborhood, not just in neighborhoods that you would automatically think people are going hungry with what's going. We're in a very place, and you and I and so many others in our industry are trying to make people smile and bring joy and happiness and lift them. But there are so many people that are very proud, and they don't have enough food to eat, and they're too proud to ask. So all I'm asking people, go to the markets, pick up gift cards, put them in an envelope and a card, and just drop them off at anyone that you might think needs to buy food in the supermarket, as opposed to saying, could I give you some money? Sometimes people, it's embarrassing. So what I've been doing, I've just been purchasing gift cards at supermarkets and dropping them off for people, and hoping that they can really use them.
That's
opposed
beautiful.
to a tip.
That's beautiful. We want to thank you again. We enjoyed our time with you. I hope you come back. We'd like to hear another set from you and a few more songs. And I do want to mention to our audience, next week we have a fabulous program for you, a celebration of the music of Michael Bublé with a company called Shades of Bublé. I promise you, you're going to have a great time. Tell all your friends we're here every week on Facebook and on YouTube.
I will post it like I always do, because I admire all of your hard work and dedication that you do at the Queensborough Performing Arts. Not just because I'm here today, but I've known you for a long time, and your heart and your staff, everyone you work with, they adore you, and you all adore you for the programming that you bring to them. That's what counts.
Thank you kindly. And I agree with you. I do have a great staff. A shout out to them, John and Vinny and Lisa. Hopefully we'll get them on a broadcast soon.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Warren. Thank you to our friends and family who are visiting us. I'm going to take a quick look. I see a few comments. Everybody seems to have had a good time, and they look forward to hearing more from you. So thank you all for coming today. Thank you, Warren Schein.
Thank you.
And we look forward to seeing you next week. Signing off. Bye for now.
Thank you, Sue. I love you.
Love you.